Let me talk about protecting young quarterbacks here by not starting them, despite you trading up to get him, or you definitely using a first-round selection on him. Now, Josh Rosen comes into his first game action yesterday, and what a situation in which to put him. I mean, Baker Mayfield came into a 2-minute situation and got comfortable fast, as we all saw to the kickoff of Week 3 on NFL Network with the Browns. But that was at the end of the first half. Now it's like Steve Wilks pushed the Josh Rosen button with mere minutes to go in a game, and Khalil Mack breathing down the rookie's neck in a clear passing situation. Walk me through a coach's mindset, if you can, Steve.
Hey, not all Steves think alike. I don't know what Steve Wilks was thinking about. You know, maybe he wanted a spark. Maybe he's just hoping that this is a Baker Mayfield moment. Maybe he had enough with Sam Bradford. I don't know. There's always a big decision, Rich, when to play the young quarterback, all right? In Sam Darnold's case, that's different than, because you got an old guy that's with Josh McCown, and let's get to this, and he's going to be our starter, play him day one. But all the other guys, whether it's Josh Allen, who played a nice game, right? Baker Mayfield played a nice game. Here comes Josh Rosen in a tough situation against a tough defense, and, had he made some first downs or put it in the end zone, the coach looks smart, looks good, like, hey, perfect timing, way to go. If it flops, then you say, well, I got to make another decision. Who do I start next week? But eventually all these guys will start. It's a matter of when. And you got to be a little bit loyal to the Sam Bradfords or the Tyrod Taylors for a little bit, because you brought them in there for a reason with their intention of being a player for you. And then, Rosen's going to be around there for a long time. He didn't need to start day one.
No, and I don't think the way that it went down is going to shake his confidence at all. I mean,
I don't think so. He's a real confident kid. But
to me, it's
going to be interesting. What did he say for next week? What's going to happen next week?
Guess what, Steve? I think he's got to look at the film. He's got to look at the film. Hey, did you ever use it? Hold on, Steve. Let me ask you this question.
Coach speak.
I know.
Like, don't talk about this right now. I got to decide later.
Did you ever, Steve, from a podium, use the "I've got to look at the film" as getting out of saying something from the podium in that moment? Did you ever use it as an excuse when you definitely didn't need to look at the film? Did you ever use that?
Probably, because I probably did, because I had Steve Young with a concussion, and this and that, and was he concussed? Was he not? And so you say that to buy yourself some time to talk it over with your staff. Yes, to look at the film, talk it over with your GM, which way you want to go. Because if you start answering questions in the heat of the moment on a press conference after a big win or a big loss, you might regret it. So it just buys you some time to, hey, I want to sit down and think through this thing, and we can talk tomorrow. Coaches have a press conference every single day. Every day. Used to drive me nuts. But sometimes it's better to push it off to tomorrow. Let me think about this, sleep on it, and I'll meet with my staff after we see the film.
Yeah, it's Mayfield. By the way, Hugh Jackson announced that about half an hour ago. It's Mayfield.
That's a shocker, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see what Steve Wilks does.
I think, the minute that you take Sam Bradford out in a situation like that, talk about a vote of no confidence. You just put the kid in there. They're 0-3. The Seahawks are coming to town. Let's see if they can get a spark from quarters one to last.
You mentioned the spark. That's important, Rich, because sometimes changing it up, putting in your reliever or whatever that is, sometimes it does give you a spark. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does, but I think that's what Steve Wilks was kind of hoping for. He saw it happen with Baker Mayfield. That was like a miracle. It was unbelievable to watch Baker Mayfield win that game in Cleveland. So that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, by the way, I think you've given this show a spark, Steve, by calling in. I think the show is doing very well before you called in, but I think you gave us a little bit of a spark.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.